So the Royal Rumble is over. 2023 delivered with a pretty decent pay-per-view of the Royal Rumble. It could have been better. It could have been worse. The Men's Royal Rumble kicked off the show. We had Gunthar and Sheamus kicking off things at 1 and 2. Gunthar ended up lasting over 70 minutes in the match. We had a few confusing spots. Lashley eliminated Lesnar. We all thought that Lesnar was going to come back in the ring and eliminate Lashley, but Seth ended up eliminating Lashley, which is a little bit weird. Gargano returned. He was in there for about 35-40 minutes as well. Booker T came out at number 21. He looked a bit sluggish and a bit slow, but it's always good to see Booker back. Dom took out Rey Mysterio and then came out the next number and tore up his mask. We then saw the amazing return of Edge. Edge got eliminated by Balor and Priest after he eliminated them. And then Beth helps Edge fight off Rhea Ripley. So I'm guessing we're going to get some sort of mixed gender tag match at Elimination Chamber potentially. Logan Paul came out at number 29. And I believe Logan Paul was planted in this match just so people had a reason to cheer number 30, which was Cody. To be honest, he didn't get that big of a reaction. I think he would have got a better reaction if he came out at number 20 or 25, somewhere a little bit earlier. But Logan Paul coming out just before him and lasting to the top 3 definitely was a good thing for the match. Cody eliminates Dom, not Rey. We all thought that Rey was going to come back out after the match or during the match and eliminate Dom, setting up their Mania match. But I guess Dom just being out there sets up a match with them anyway. Logan and Ricochet, did like a massive cross body spot. It sounded brutal. Like that thing sounded crazy. Gunthar, like I said, lasted over 70 minutes, which is the new record. He lasted from number 1 to he was the second last person to get injured. Second last person to get thrown over, which was pretty crazy. And then Logan eliminated Seth Rollins. Now, there's a lot of rumors that John Cena is going to fight Logan Paul, but maybe Seth Rollins is going to enter in a rivalry. Surely Logan doesn't get a win over Seth, but eventually Cody came out on top. It was a pretty good Royal Rumble match. It was pretty predictable. There weren't as many surprises as I thought there was going to be, but overall, it was better than 2022. I'd give it probably a 7.25 out of 10. It could have been better, could have been worse, and let's move on to the rest of the card. Second on the card was the pitch black match between Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. LA Knight looked really good in this match. It ended quite abruptly and then Uncle Howdy came out. Uncle Howdy hit a massive elbow drop from the top of a crane or support or something onto LA Knight. There was big explosions, big craziness after the match, and then Bray stood there and there was 4 hooded figures behind Bray. So I'm guessing we're finally going to find out who Bray's new Wyatt family or Funhouse characters are. This match was okay. I don't know what I expected going into it, but it ended quite quick. It was a little bit lackluster. It would have been better if there was lights, but if you want to know what was lackluster, Bianca Belair and Alexa Bliss kind of was rubbish, and in my opinion it was their worst match that they've had. I think Bianca Belair kind of got a little bit damaged from this match. Bliss got buried, she got pinned clean. There was no real shenanigans going on. So both these matches, I'll give the lights out match maybe a 6.5, and I'll give this Bianca Belair Alexa Bliss match maybe 5. Bianca Belair came out on top, and this is probably a good thing heading into the Women's Royal Rumble match because we're going to get a dream match at WrestleMania because the winner of the Women's Rumble match was definitely deserved. So next up on the card was the Women's Royal Rumble match, and this match was actually quite fun. Liv and Rhea entered the match at 1 and 2. They survived all the way to the end and were the last 2 in the match. We got Dark Asuka, aka Kana, coming out at number 17, which was pretty cool. We're finally seeing the dark side of Asuka. She looked really cool. The attire and the makeup and everything was really fantastic, really well done. We got Doudrop dropping the Doudrop name and coming out as Piper Niven at number 19 or number 18, which was really cool. We're finally getting Piper, which is great. Doudrop was a stupid name. We had Michelle McCool come out too. We had a Chelsea Green return, and then we had a botched return for Nia Jax at number 30. She was then thrown out later in the match. I don't want her to be back in WWE. I don't want her to injure more female superstars, so hopefully she's not actually back for good. This Royal Rumble match, I'm not sure what I'd give it. Asuka, Liv, and Rhea were the last 3. It was better than the men's in my opinion. I'd maybe give this a 7.7 out of 10. There was room for improvement, but overall, I think it was like a fun match. The winner, obviously, Rhea Ripley. We're hopefully going to get Rhea versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, which is going to be great. That's probably going to main event night 1. And then night 2 is probably going to be Cody versus Roman. We'll talk about the Roman Reigns match now. Roman versus Kevin was an interesting match. It felt a little bit sloppy. There was a couple of botches in the match, but it was quite entertaining nonetheless. Roman obviously picking up the victory over Kevin after smashing his head against the steps a couple times and then hitting a very brutal spear. The match itself was probably a 6.5 out of 10. They've had better matches in the past. Michael Cole even mentioned Kevin using a old best friend to get the win over Roman Reigns a few years ago, obviously mentioning Chris Jericho, which was pretty crazy. So after the match, they continue the brutal beatdown of Kevin Owens. The Usos, multiple super kicks, multiple kicks to the head. They handcuff him to the ropes. Roman goes to hit Kevin Owens with a steel chair, but Sami intervenes. There's a little back and forth. Roman gives Sami the chair, tells him to finish the job, but then Sami Zayn turns around and hits Roman in the back with the chair, just like Seth Rollins did when they broke up the Shield. It was a pretty sad turn of events after that because Jay watched on in disbelief. Sami said he's sorry to Jay, and then the Bloodline take out Sami Zayn. During that whole turn of events when everyone's attacking Sami, brutally attacking Sami, Jay then walks out on the Bloodline. He doesn't touch Sami at all. He was attacking Kevin Owens, but he doesn't touch Sami. He leaves Sami alone, and he just kind of looks really sad as he walks out. Then we have the Bloodline ending the pay-per-view, standing tall. No returns from The Rock, no returns from John Cena, no returns from Stone Cold. KO and Sami will probably be out for a little while now, judging by those attacks from the Bloodline, but it's going to be really interesting where the story goes from here. I'm not sure where Cody fits into this. Maybe Cody comes and gets revenge for Sami and Kevin, and then Kevin and Sami come back later down the track and help Cody, but we're going to need some sort of interesting story to bring Cody into this because this Bloodline story is not finished, and it's either going to be Sami and Kevin versus the Usos at WrestleMania, or Jay is just going to relinquish the titles. It's going to be a really interesting to find out what happens next. Raw is going to be a much watch this week, and then we're going to have a celebration from Roman Reigns, I think, with the title. Is weird. It really felt like there could have been something big happen on the show. Obviously, that was the conclusion of a story, or concluding one part of the story and going into another, but it felt like they could have had one more big return, one more big name show up. A John Cena cameo would have been great, but overall, the pay-per-view was good. I can't complain. I'll give it a solid 7. Could have been better, could have been worse, but that's just my review. That's what happened at the Royal Rumble 2023. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Next up, Elimination Chamber.